That's too much.
It's too much. Mr. Hands me.
That's the sound.
Too much.
That's the sound of the police. Woo, woo.
Actually, this drink might be just right. Oh. Nope.
It doesn't sound like it. You know, I'll give Guitar Showdown Shit Show 2019 this. $3 drinks, man.
$3 pints?
Like $3 Jack and Diets.
Okay, yeah, that's pretty good.
Like real Jack, too. You're watching pour like actual Jack Daniels in the glass.
Right, you're watching them pour knockoff shit that they put into the Jack Daniels bottle.
Oh no, you can smell it. You can lick it.
You could see the little Jack Daniels man's being poured. And he's just giving you the thumbs up.
Jack Daniels poured it.
Oh shit!
Yeah.
He was in Joliet.
Yep.
Fuck.
So free donuts. So that hurt keto.
Oh my god.
Mm-hmm.
Were they worth it? They're never worth it.
Yeah, they are. When they're free and they're from a real bakery. Shut up! Daddy's working! So, yeah.
That was you. That's what you sounded like after your showdown.
No, it sounded like this. It sounded like this. Ready? Shut up! Stop talking! Stop making notes. Sounds. Ready? It sounded like this. Ready?
Musical notes.
Ready? That's what it sounded like.
Oh.
And then looks of like shifty eye looks at each other like for real? Are you sure?
So look, folks, we got a lot to fucking talk about tonight.
Man. And you know, I tried to watch some WrestleMania and I only got to see a little bit of it.
We might not even get to WrestleMania.
You have children and you don't have time for a 6-hour pay-per-view.
Oh yeah, I wish it was 6. It was over 7. Oh god.
I was just guessing because I didn't watch it.
Oh, my body today. Oof. So yeah, let's get into it. If we get to Mania and stuff, we do. If we don't, it's fine. Becky Lynch won. Kofi won. Seth Rollins won.
Ooh, Kofi won. That's awesome.
Kofi won. Kofi did win.
That's awesome.
I was happy for him.
That's like second to last on the card match or no?
Third from last. It was weird. I think it was Kurt Angle, and because Kurt Angle is like his retirement match,
so he lost
supposedly, and he did, but it was in like the death spot. It was like after Kofi and before the ladies' main event. It's like nobody gave a shit. Nobody gives a fuck about you. They're tired.
Yeah,
I just love when they would cut to the fans. Like, look how excited they are. I'm like, these people look fucking exhausted.
Why do you do this to them every year?
They've been there for 9 hours, literally. Because I'm sure you get you pregame, you do all the shit. They've literally been there 9+ fucking hours. Don't fucking cut to them like you're expecting them to do fucking flips, because they're not gonna do it. So I'm very excited to talk this week because Jim, you had your Joliet show. It was a guitar fucking showdown.
Showdown.
I wish I could have gone. I didn't get off until 10. I wouldn't have got there until 11. By the sounds of it, probably would have missed it.
You would have missed the best guitar player in the building playing guitar. Yes.
Yeah. So I'm kind of glad it worked out that way, at least. Now, break down. Let's take this nice and slow. Break down what this fucking was, what the rules are,
right.
who were the participants. Like set a scene, because I'm sure at some point in this conversation I'm going to compare it to comedy contests and why I don't do them anymore.
That's a very good. It's a very good comparison because you've told me about these before. But we'll see when we get there if I remember enough about the comedy contests, because I think there are some key differences. So. This is a place. It's a really cool place. It's called the Drunken Donut, and it's a bakery. It's Joliet Bakery.
Oh, that's fucking cool.
It's Joliet Bakery, and there's a bar in the back. And when they close, there's a bar in the back of a bakery, and there's donuts everywhere, and they have music. And they have some really good musical acts at this place. They really, really do. So I am friends with one of the main guy who runs all of the music shows there. His name is Alex. And Alex and my friend Scott know each other.
Yeah.
Scott is who I'm co-writing all these songs with. Awesome, like best drummer that I've ever played with.
Great guy.
Yeah, and a stellar guy. That is correct. So we had all played together once before, and so I'd been following like things that go on here because I'm friends with him on Facebook. So he streams it live and some really good artists. And I saw one of their events coming up was this Guitar Showdown, and I read the description and I was like, "Oh, I got to do this." So I contact the guy who's putting that event together, not Alex, different guy. And he's like, "Well, here's what it's going to be like. I want people to sort of jam with each other, and it's it's a guitar showdown, but we're really just jamming, trying to have a good time." Okay. What's the format going to be like? Well, there's going to be a bracket, and you got to get your name in there. I'm thinking, okay, it's not just jam night. It's actually there's an actual bracket and a contest and whatever. Okay, how is it going to be judged? A combination of a panel, the audience, and some musicians, or like people that work there in the audience, and some musicians, or a panel of music, something like that. Like the audience was going to be involved. There was going to be a multifaceted approach. Didn't even ask about the prize. I was just like, there's not an entry fee or anything. Oh no, of course not. There's no cover to go to the show or anything. Cool. I'm not going to pay.
Yeah, you're not going to pay to fucking.
I'm not paying you to have the privilege of listening to me play.
Yeah, this isn't the Comedy Shrine.
This isn't whatever Emergenza. There used to be this band contest called Emergenza where you'd pay and you're buying all of these tickets and you have to like sell the tickets back to get people to go to. It's a Battle of the Bands thing. This is not like a Battle of the Bands thing. Bring your own equipment though. We want to make sure you can have your sound and you can be dialed in. Now, a lot of these things will not allow you to bring your own equipment because it's too much of a clusterfuck.
Do they? Yeah, which makes a lot of fucking sense. Did they do it that way just to fucking curb the bitching? Like, well, if I had my amp and my sound.
That is a huge thing with not these specific people, but like with things like this, right? Bring your pedal board if you got your pedal board, whatever. What's the format like musically? We'll be playing over just some like blues progressions, some 12-bar blues, and just some like basic rock chord progressions, and you'll be trading licks back and forth. Okay. What time do I go on? Oh, we don't know yet. We'll wait till you get there. When other people show up and all that. So like everybody was super duper nice. Everybody there was really cool. There were no shithead egomaniacs there. Even though you probably think I'm an egomaniac, I'm actually a really nice guy. But I'm also brutally honest with people that I consider my friends, which is you and everyone listening.
Oh.
I love all these listeners like they're my friends.
They got in.
So, first round, these two guys go up. The guy who running the show, his name's Marco. He's a really nice guy. Plugs into his amp. He's part of the backing band. They got a bass player, keyboard player, drummer. He plugs in. He starts playing. I'm like, oh, this guy's good. That's cool. It's off to a good start. Two guys go up. Nice, really nice
One guy
guys.
goes down.
Really nice guys.
It's always nice when you're not the first one to go, because you get to feel out the audience, you get to feel out the stage, like the feedback issues, like, oh, don't stand next to that fucking thing.
What was cool?
All those.
It's a really small place, and when let's get a little deep musically here.
Let's get deep.
When you're playing a live show, which I played many, many, many live shows, the bigger the place is, the louder everything has to be. So everyone can hear it. The louder everything has to be, the less nuanced your playing can be, because the nuances no one will hear them. It won't come across. If you're at like a Bourbon Street or a House of Blues, and it's a big, big place and there's a lot of people in there, you can't okay, break it down. We're going to get real quiet and dynamic, and you're going to hear these little nuances in my playing. But at a small place, you can do that. A small place, like nothing even is mic'd up except the singers. Just the vocals are mic'd up. No one was singing during this, right? But there's vocal mics, but that's it. It's so small, you wouldn't mic the drum kit or the guitars or anything. So you can do dynamic things there, which is cool. It's just what I want. these first two guys go up, and I'm like, okay,
Nice, super nice dudes.
very nice guys. And I'm like, okay. And then the next round is me. So I go
shit.
outside and get my amp, and actually Scott's amp, and
Kumite.
all my shit, which is like a guitar and a chord and a pedal. And I plug in, and we're just dialing up sounds and stuff. It was tricky to balance each person's amp, so we were both like equal volumes. And it's not always just about volume. It's like the setting you have on your amp will cut through better or not cut through as good, you know? I get the one guy in the first round, in the first match or whatever before me, he was super nervous. And something like this was really good for him, I think. Because he sort of is like, he learned something. You know, you learn something about yourself. And he's like, okay, I got stuff to work on. And he could probably play pretty well if he knows the piece, you know? But you throw him up there, you're improvising the whole time.
Freestyling.
You're freestyling the whole night, right? He couldn't hang. The first guy, it was pretty easy decision. My turn comes up. This other guy, younger than me, long, curly, flowing locks. He had one of those, you know, those, I don't know what you even call them. It's like a hippie parka where it's like a hemp knit sweatshirt pullover with a hood. You know what I'm talking about? They're usually...
I do. I definitely do. Chris Ian wore one in Dirtbags. I made him wear that.
Okay. He's wearing one of those jobs. He plugs in, I plug in, we start warming up. And this one is not a blues. So when you're doing a 12-bar blues, everyone knows the format. Everyone knows what's going to happen. You know, and I won't get too wonky for everyone, but you can start on the 1, you go to the 4, back to the 1 chord, you go back to the 4.
Sometimes you get a 3 in there.
You're going to do like a 1, 5, 4, and then a turnaround on the 5.
Yeah.
I think I got that right. I got to think about it. But
See,
it's always the same.
Lost.
It's always the same, right? Our jam was just like random, not random, but just sort of like rock song up-tempo chord progression. So in a 12-bar blues, you know you have 12 measures to play, and then it's the next person's turn, and then you go back, or then you'll say like, let's trade 4s. So every 4 measures you go. In our jam, things were just changing. Like they would suddenly like, let's go halftime, and everything gets like half the speed that it was. You know,
I could
stuff
just
like that.
I could see that happening, and you looking back like, what the fuck you guys doing?
It was fine, but
I know Jim gives the look, and it's one of my favorite things. I'm sure somebody got it.
I wasn't giving them looks. I was just sort of feeling it out, and you build it. You start simple, start tasty, simple,
tasty.
Build it up, hit them with some good stuff, but you're playing the long game. Okay, if you're a professional Street Fighter player, you keep tricks in your bag until you're in top 8. Because you're like, once I get to top 8, I'm going to show them some stuff they didn't even know I knew, right?
Yeah, I got to keep that shit in your pocket.
So you're feeling the room, and you're like, okay, I'm not going to hit him with everything. I played, wasn't the best I've ever played, right? But I played pretty well. The other guy,
nice guy.
There were a couple of moments where he shined through, you know?
And there were other moments where he forgot he had fingers.
But it wasn't about like I played so well nobody could have beaten me in a guitar duel. It was just sort of like, ooh, he doesn't even know what key we're in anymore. Like this is getting rough.
Couldn't keep up with the progressions and the
It
shifts.
didn't change. The chord progression.
Well, I don't know. I don't know.
Like the rhythm sort of changed a little, but the actual chord progression didn't change once it was established. It was just hard to figure out like how many measures do I go before it's your turn. And then I don't have false confidence ever. I've played with a ton of guitar players in my career, in my life. And many where I've been like, that guy just kicked my ass. And we're not even playing at the same time. It's like they're opening or whatever, and I'm like, that guy's good. Like, I learned some shit from him. We finish. First of all, I have to be the band leader and sort of not slow them down, but quiet them down dynamically because it's getting boring. It's getting boring for me to listen to. I know it's getting boring for the crowd. So I'm like, hey, take it down, put my pick away, like motion to them, bring it down, guys, bring it down, and then you can hear us better, and we could play like more nuanced things over the progression and sort of trade back and forth. And then we bring it back up. We build it back up into like this big climax, and then it ends. And the guy's like, Marco's like, that's really close. You guys got to just keep playing now, and we're not going to play. You guys just go back and forth. And we did that, and that's when I swear to you, I'm not trying to be an asshole. I felt bad. I felt bad because we would do this little call and. Do you remember the sketch Sax Man, the Lonely Island, where
Nope.
Jack Black's singing and he's like, "Okay, repeat after me, Sax Man," and he's like sings something and the saxophone is just like, dude. We were doing like that sort of thing, and I'm like, oh man,
Little call and repeat.
yeah. It's like,
Kinda thing.
I was like, you'll get him next time, man. You got potential, like you'll get there.
Now, what were you thinking when Marco says, it's really close. We're just gonna you guys do your thing.
I was
Were you-
thinking let's take a little step back. This place has an electric guitar sort of jam night every Wednesday. I've never been here in my life. This guy's Marco's been there a lot, and this other curly hair guy's been here for the jam night. So they know each other. And it's a very positive, very nice atmosphere. It was not competitive at all. If you saw my WrestleMania videos, that was all about WrestleMania, okay? And if you couldn't pick up on that, you're dumb. But I was just having fun with those promotion videos, doing the bits and doing the like. I'm like, oh, you know what? I'm gonna see if I can cut a promo like in my car on Instagram. So I was just having fun with that. None of that was for real. But
Break kayfabe. Jesus.
when he said, I mean, it's the entertainment era, okay?
Yeah.
So
I didn't mean to. Accidents happen in the ring. She didn't mean to give her a concussion.
he says it's really close. Like, what are you gonna say? Like, you can't be. There was no way this guy was gonna be rude to anyone, and he kept reiterating, all these players were coming out. Everybody did such a good job. Marco was super positive. He did exactly everything he needed to do. So when he's like, "Oh man, that's super close. You guys keep playing." What I'm thinking is he wants to hear more. You know, he's in the sort of in the corner next to his amp playing in the backing band. So he wants to sort of take a step forward and just hear us both play back and forth. And he's not going to shit on a nice guy. Like, you wouldn't shit on anybody at this. It's not like a roast battle or something, you know?
Mm.
But
It's a jam battle.
But when I tell you that I had zero doubt in my mind that I was advancing, I don't mean that in a way to sort of build my own self-confidence or anything. Like, I felt guilty. Like, I felt bad. I felt bad for showing up. Okay. I set my amp behind this other speaker on stage because I'm like, I'm going to need that in a minute. And I put my guitar away. Scott goes outside to vape. And I go out with him. We're hanging out. We're talking out there because it's a small place and it's really loud in there. You cannot have a conversation in there. Okay. That's why I wanted to bring the dynamics down too, because that would work in a small place, but it was just nonstop, just ear pounding. We're out there. At first, and I still don't know who was technically judging this. From what I gather, it was really just like
fun.
One woman was picking who won.
She was a one-woman panel.
Yes. That I wasn't introduced to, never met, don't know. Everybody else there knew this chick.
Oh yeah, I bet everyone else did.
So
I bet old Curly Sue.
I'm outside talking to Scott. There was another guy out there we were talking to, but he wasn't like standing next to us.
Fucking vape clouds everywhere.
And Alex walked
Puffing
out,
that cotton.
and the other guy's name was Anthony. Really super nice kid. This guy and Alex walks out, and he's just like, okay, he's got like his head down, he like puts his arm on my back. He's like, okay, well, they just announced Anthony won. and me and for a second I'm like, wait, who's Anthony? Was there another round? and I was like, oh shit, I lost in the first round. And me and Scott look at each other and we look at Alex and we're like, and Scott got heated. Scott was angry. Not like spitting angry, but he was like, I was just like in disbelief. And Scott was like, are you fucking serious? He's like, who's judging this? And I'm like, wait, for real? And it's like this does not affect me in one iota. Like, it's like, imagine if you are playing LeBron James in basketball and you're scoring baskets and stuff, but like there's no keeping score. At the end of the one-on-one, someone will decide who won or lost, right?
Mm-hmm.
And I wouldn't even say going easy on him, like as LeBron James, but you're like, okay, I'm not going to be an asshole, you know? And then at the end of it, and it's not like the guy was like, it's not like you had to like, oh, I got to try and block this shot. Like the guy's just missing open shots and everything. And you're just like, oh, man. Like, go ahead, take a layup. Oh, shit. You rimmed that.
But what LeBron James didn't know is that the judge was my father.
Yeah, right. Well, no, even your dad was fucking, are you kidding me? Your dad? Your dad. Yeah, for WGN.
I knew it was coming.
So I sort of like, the first feeling instantly was just like complete surprise, like super shock.
And then your second thought was, oh, traffic. Okay, I can get home around here.
Well, my second thought was, I feel really bad for whoever's judging this. Because
maybe they were tossing him a bone. There's probably a lot of factors.
Yeah, I mean, sure, it could be that. Could be the thing was the format was pretty well laid out, but sort of the criteria, there wasn't like, well, you know, like note choice and like technique, and then we'll grade you on like, you know, style points or whatever. Because at one point the guy starts like playing the guitar with his teeth. And
whoa!
Not like, you know, like Jimi Hendrix would play the guitar with his teeth. This guy was just like plucking a string with his tooth, and it didn't sound like when Jimi Hendrix did it. But, you know, people were like, well, that's interesting.
They pop for that.
Yeah, and I was sort of like, that's when I really started to feel bad for him, honestly. I was like, okay. And then I just felt like, why did I come out here? Like, that wasn't because what I'm thinking is I'm gonna advance far in this, and then once people start playing, like, there's no way I'm not winning this, right? And then I'm like, I don't even get to play again. I got to play for like 6 minutes.
Mm-hmm.
I drove out there. It was like an hour and a half.
Oh yeah, Joliet for you.
Yeah, each way. And I'm like, thank God Scott came out, because this would have been just a sour night. But the drinks were flowing.
Donuts.
But it was just really and I did think to myself at one point, this is where I'll let you talk. I did think to myself, this reminds me of stories Dale would tell me about comedy competitions. But in those, I seem to remember there'd be like 3 comedians or so, and it's sort of like a cliquey thing, and there wasn't even that. It was like one person that's just like, nah, I guess that guy.
Well, yeah, she was like, well, I know Anthony.
And this
other guy just won't stop eating donuts. And he didn't say hi.
I ate them after. I'm like, well, you're definitely losing food to me now. I can't just leave here empty-handed. But the reason I felt bad is these people, I don't like both ways. I don't like, come on, man, this is all just fun. We're just jamming. And there's a bracket, and this is a competition. You can say we're all friends here, we're all going to be nice, but this is a guitar competition, you know?
Yeah, it wasn't very legitimate. And even if it was like pushing the entertainment angle, it's still it's like
It's
that's
still,
too
even if that was a
ridiculous.
fifth, or even if that was a third of what you got judged on, then
It's like if
he's
they had Hornswoggle go over on Brock Lesnar. It's like, come on,
yeah, like
that
come
doesn't
on,
make
yeah,
sense.
like yes, I know wrestling's predetermined, but still, give me some respect. And my big takeaway is like these guys are gonna think they're a lot better than they actually are, and it's
I don't think so. I bet you a couple of motherfuckers, probably Scott, when you left, he went up to that like you did good, but you shouldn't have made it to the second round. Did he? How far did he go? The
he
guy?
made it
Did
to
he
the
win it all?
finals.
Did he?
Yeah, there were
Come
8 of
on,
us, and he made it to
come
the
on.
finals. I swear to you.
He's a fucking Make a Wish kid or something. Something's up.
No, he was like not a Make a Wish kid. But
Well, I'm just saying he's popular. Everyone likes him. He's fucking. He's A-bomb. He's Anthony.
When you
Everyone
have
likes him.
something like this, honestly, he seemed to feel really bad after right after we finished, or no, in the middle, before it got to the point where he's like, okay, acapella. Like when we're building it back up, he turns to me while we're playing. He's like, oh man, you just taught me something right there. And I was like, just nodded my head like, I know, fucking, of course I did.
It's like that's the only thing you got so far. I just taught you 5 things.
Yeah. Like I've been playing longer than you've been alive. You realize this. And then after it was over and they announced it, we went back in, got some drinks, listened to some music, went back out, and he was out there sitting at the table. And Scott and I are talking, and he just has this look on his face like, oh, man. And he gets up and he's like, hey, man, do you smoke? You want to smoke? I'm like pot, not.
Oh, my God.
Like he didn't offer me a square. He was like, would you like some of my
No.
precious marijuana? And I was like, no, man, I don't. But thank you. I appreciate it. He's like,
You hear that, FBI? He said no.
He's like, you really taught me a lot, man. I'm like, okay, cool. I am glad. I said, and congratulations. You played well up there. And I'm not lying because compared to the other 6 that don't include me, he did pretty well.
Did all right.
He did
Yeah,
he did
all
he did
right.
well. Okay, and you could see
Okay.
that like improvising was not really his strength or any of these guys' strengths, and it's hard, man.
Well, yeah, it doesn't sound like that's something that really comes up all that often. Like even Black Ants, like all right, we're doing these Metallica songs. We're gonna practice these Metallica songs, and we're gonna rehearse these songs. We're gonna like improv doesn't really sound like a keystone, a cornerstone of that.
It is in like blues and jazz and stuff, but if like the bands you would go pay to see, it isn't. Okay, like because nobody goes to pay to see blues and jazz bands. That's like a popular jazz joke. Is like a jazz player knows 1,000 chords and plays to one person, and a rock person knows one chord and plays to 1,000 people, or something like that. But it's something that takes a long time to get good at, even over a simple progression, because you got to make it interesting and you got to make it melodic. You can't just go up there and just wank and shred, which is what these guys were trying to do. But apparently, any sort of like musicality or nuance was completely lost on the people judging it. So, on the one hand, you could say, Jim, why are you so salty?
Jim.
This is just for fun. That's fine, but then don't also say it's a competition and have a bracket and then have like this could have been a teaching moment because I could have played 4 more times.
And honestly, that sounds fucking dope as shit. Where it's like, hey Jim, I'm actually putting together this show. It's kind of like this. There's a bracket. It's a jam showdown, guitar showdown thing. It's all a work. All right, it's all like we're gonna do some things. I've got you going to like the second round and everything. My buddy here, and like because like that could be cool because everything's wrestling to me. Like that could be fucking fun.
Well, everything definitely was wrestling that night. I just didn't know it was.
You got Bret Hart. You got Montreal Screwjob, brother.
I was the local, like I was the enhancement talent. But like in the 70s when they would just like go beat up a person from town.
Yeah.
It was really weird. It was just a weird feeling. I mean, like imagine if you went to a comedy contest Well, why don't you tell me what that's like?
I mean, they do it different ways. They're all bullshit. Like audience, oh, it's audience scoring. It's
Yeah,
gonna be
there was none of
clapped,
that. There was
measured
no
by claps.
There was none
I mean,
of that. If you want this guy clap, you want this guy clap. Zero of that. By the way.
Oh, okay. Well, that's well, yeah. It sounds like they're close to having somewhat of a good idea of a show. But yeah, like that's obviously got its flaws because it's like, well, who brought? Who's the bringer? Because you've won. Congratulations. Or you have the panel or one person in the back of the bar apparently, who's just like, well, shit. Now shit's just done got political. Which because I've had shows where it's like, oh, they'll do the comedy contest, and one time, like one of the judges was my friend Ryan Buds, and I mean, I didn't win it because I don't think I've won any comedy competition. And like after that, I just like went up to him. And he just looked at me like these fucking like like Dale, this is bullshit. Dale, like yeah, I do. Yeah, it's just it's all a waste. It's all a waste of time. But we're competitive people. So
we are, yeah.
So we do get past a point where it's just like, well, now I'm a little hot because like my fucking honor is at stake, or there's money, and I love money and donuts, and you're depriving me of this.
Part of it is like even in your scam comedy competitions you're talking about, you know what you can usually figure out what the angle is, right? You can usually figure out if it's you brought more people or what. Like you can usually figure it out that you got fucked and why, right? This really, it didn't. The only thing that made sense to me is that none of these people like know anything about improvisation at all. Like
so
that are watching.
You see, look, God bless Jim. God bless Jim Snedeker Jr. for thinking it's just blatant, pure ignorance and not malicious intent of any sort, because that's almost immediately where I go to.
No, I mean, I could.
You just think that whoever made this decision just doesn't know music. I'm sure they know music enough.
No,
know
for real.
Good v bad.
Maybe not. Okay, because like these
right.
people don't listen to blues and jazz. These people listen to like weird indie rock shit. So it's sort of weird that they're having this guitar battle. Like it's sort of a weird thing.
You lost when he ate his guitar. When that tooth hit that fucking string,
I guess.
It was over. They were like, "Oh shit, I ain't seen that. I don't even know who Hendrix is."
It just was. It was bizarre. It was so lopsided that even in like a rigged comedy competition, it was like the '88 Olympics or whatever, where Roy Jones Jr. like destroyed this guy for 10 rounds, and they're like, "Yep, the Korean guy won. Where's this held? Korea? Oh." It was like if like Bill Burr went to one of these comedy competitions you were at and he didn't win
and lost to me.
Yeah, and I'm not saying I'm on that level. Okay, so like let's say you went to a comedy competition with people that never did stand up in their lives. Maybe maybe you did. Okay.
No, those are the ones who win, because it's like, all right, did you hear fucking Mikey's doing comedy? Let's all go one time only, because we're never doing this again.
And that makes sense.
And they always get them.
But
the newcomers always crush those competitions.
There were no bringers here either.
Well,
and there was no money involved. Like
what was the fucking prize?
A guitar strap.
So this was very casual.
That's what I'm saying. So like there's no money involved. There's no cover. There's no door. There's nothing. So there's no like there's no financial motivation for someone to win over another person.
Not even gas money.
Not even gas money, but it's like, man, you could have learned so much if you'd just let me play longer.
Damn.
Forget about winning. Forget about saying like I won it.
Jim's up here like, witness me.
Yeah.
Learn from me.
Fucking yes. Witness me. Like the other part that was shitty is Scott shows up. He's the best drummer in any room he's in that I've ever been in. And not everybody knows that, but people in that room knew that, and he didn't even get to sit on the kit. They let one of the guitar players, who was like okay at playing guitar and horrible at playing drums, like go sit in on a jam. And Scott didn't get a chance to play. And people
Damn.
in that room that had the power to say Scott's going to go play knew that and didn't let him go play.
Because everyone's too nice. That's the problem.
Exactly. So I'm not. This isn't even from a position of shittiness. This is a position of overly politeness.
Man, I think that's what happened.
I would understand it if this was like double elimination or something. We're like, okay, this guy really won, but look at that guy go. He deserves a shot to keep going. We'll say he won. This guy can come back in the next round out of loser's bracket and, mop up. But like, Jesus Christ, guys. I mean, it was just odd. And then like we both came to the realization we can't play here. We're too mean. Like everybody here is so nice. Like we would not fit in here playing.
We are too jaded.
Not even jaded, but it's just like, no, stop. Okay, your turn is over. Let someone else go play. God damn. You're killing us back here. Like, how do you expect the next generation to learn anything if you don't teach them right from wrong? You got to go do some teaching,
All right, Grandpa.
But that's how people get better. That's how it always has been. That's how people always get better at improvising and playing guitar, which that's what this was.
Yeah,
this wasn't just like a rock show.
On.
This wasn't a battle of the bands. Sometimes not even dunked on. Sometimes you just got to get no look passed on. Or sometimes you just got to get stutter stepped on. And you're like, oh, I see that. Okay, I could do that. I can't dunk, but I could do that. I didn't even think about that, I wasn't dunking on anybody. I was just going to the left, maybe a little crossover.
So here's a question that I've asked many a comedian over the years, but I'm going to switch it to the music version of this. How would you do this competition?
I would have it be completely clear how the judging was happening. That like we're going to have 3 people that are musicians. And then we'll have an audience participation. They can say yay or nay. We'll decide who won that, and then we'll look at the 3 judges, and then I'd figure out
have a tiebreaker. Have a tiebreaker,
right,
man.
Exactly.
It's the owner. It's the owner of he's in the back, just being fat and
whatever.
drunk.
At least that makes sense, right? And I would also say, hey, you know what, Jim? You should probably just judge this thing because we don't know what the fuck we're doing.
Yeah.
Because there are certain things where you're like, yeah, I'll give you style points for that. Or like, that was interesting. Sort of, you went out there. Like, you took a chance.
Have a nice little score. I like score sheets. Just, like,
yeah.
You like botches, like you made a couple mistakes, so I'm going to mark you down for that. I like your presentation. That was cool.
I love that.
I like that.
You said botches, right? So it's
I did say botches.
It's like if you watched
the women's main event.
Who's a guy, like an old school guy that just threw really good working punches? They talk about some of these
Jerry Lawler.
Okay.
Jerry Lawler had a good working punch.
Yeah, okay. But let's, and he could do simple moves and make it look really good.
Yeah.
Or like a Ted DiBiase. And you're watching
Terry
that,
Funk shit.
and you see like some guys trying to do lucha moves and shit. But not only is the psychology to what they're setting up bad, they are not even landing the moves, and they're making the moves look like shit. But you go like, oh, look at that. He spun. But yeah, he spun and missed and hurt himself. Like, oh no, he wins. That was way cooler than that really good match.
Because that's how it was booked, and that's how your competition was booked. It was before you even took the stage, Jim.
I wasn't booked.
It was done.
I wasn't booked. Yeah, and that's sort of the sad part. And the other sad part is I really wanted to not be the best guitar player there, let alone by like a really far distance. Like I wanted to be challenged.
Yeah. I know exactly. It's like when I'm the smartest person in the room. I should never, ever be the smartest person in the room. But when it happens, I get scared. I get frightened. But yeah, I know exactly what you mean. I think with comedy and this, the competition, contest, slant, I don't think that's the way to go. One of my favorite comedy shows that I did It was a gimmick show. It wasn't like a straight up comedy show, but it was like a dating game show.
Mm-hmm. I've heard of
And
these.
boy, was there a lot of laughs, and it was just a lot of good time. And nobody really gave a fuck about going on a date with this lady. I mean, I think one of my buddies did, but like it's a fucking scene. It's like you're doing a scene, and it was hilarious. And like the idea of like a jam, like a guitar jam hangout. We got this guy from this band and this guy over here, and you plug your shit, you do some cool stuff, and you pop the crowd and you go eat donuts.
Right. That would have been better. But but you know what? I wouldn't have driven an hour and a half for that.
This is true.
Like I wanted to teach. I wanted to show.
See, an hour ago you mentioned, like I'm gonna. You mentioned I'm gonna hold back for the finals. I'm gonna keep a couple things for the finals.
Yeah,
a bird in the hand is better than a bunch in the bush. You should have went all out. You should have went all out. You would have you would have won. But you held back.
No, I wouldn't have. My hair wasn't long, and I didn't eat my guitar. And then, did you see the promo I cut where I was like, "There's not a pedal on this planet that's gonna save you tonight." You see that one on Instagram where people are asking, "Oh, can I bring my pedal board? Can I bring my pedal board?" And I said, "Go ahead, bring your pedal board. There's not a pedal on this planet that's gonna save you from me tonight." And then this guy was like using this wah pedal during one of his like indiscriminate soloing moments, where like you couldn't even hear notes that he's playing. And then Scott was like, "There's not a pedal that can save you tonight." Well, maybe a wah pedal. A wah pedal might save you. I just thought that was funny because that literally happened. But yeah, people were like, like nervously trying to plug in all their shit and like, and I'm just like, guys, chill out, okay? This is supposed to be fun, relax.
Guys, we'll call it in the ring. It'll be fine.
Yeah, and I was calling it in the ring, and they're like, "What? Take the rocker dropper? How?"
Meanwhile, DDP's like, "No."
Imagine if you take the rocker dropper and you break your own neck, and then you win the match.
The guy puts his arm over you.
Yeah, and you're like, "Wait a minute, what? He won? He broke his own neck taking the rocker dropper." That's what happened.
Jim,
so I wish them all the best.
Nice guys.
I don't even know who won because
I
was waiting. I wanted to hear, but at midnight.
Oh shit!
30 minutes into their jam. So this is the part that got me like crazy. Is in between each like quote unquote matchup and then each round there would be just a free form open jam. Man, come up and jam. As you can imagine, as people got drunker and higher throughout the night, those got longer and longer. So before the final round was over, but before they announced it, they played for at least 30 minutes. Time of Your Life by Green Day, which is not a jam song. That's just an acoustic, hurry up, this is the time of your life. Oh, goodbye. They played that like halftime feel for 30 minutes, and then the Marco sings it, and he's done with the words, and he's like, "Who wants to come up and sing?" And I was like, "Again? You just sang those are all the words." And then they just kept playing it and playing it and playing it. So I never even
play two.
I didn't even get to see who won. I have no idea who won.
Man.
Yeah. That is not a jam song.
Close to a good idea, but like most competitions, just flawed.
A little sour.
Flawed. Yeah. A little sour. Well, this was episode 66. Thanks for listening.
We still got a good solid 16, 15 and a half minutes left.
Yeah, we do. When is the next Dad Bod show? Is that? I mean, I know we'll do plugs, but is that okay? So it's still
May. It's like deep May. I want to say May 24th, 25th. There's a Friday Saturday show on Memorial Day weekend, or maybe Saturday Sunday because it's Memorial Day weekend. There's a double weekend show coming up at the end of May. That's our next show.
Look, it can't be fucking hard to figure out your schedules and find a venue where that works, right? That's all I'm saying.
What do you mean?
Now,
figure
Jim,
out our schedules and find a venue where the guitar showed up?
There's fucking three of you. schedules, figure it out, and play in Tinley by me again.
Oh, yeah, that's happening.
Okay, good.
Yeah, that's happening. In fact, why don't you talk for a
I
while,
will.
and I will find these dates for you.
Good, because Jim, I want to tell you about something. I met someone special during WrestleMania. During WrestleMania.
Her name was Mandy.
No, his name
Ooh.
was Bandit.
I saw Bandit. He's so cute.
Bandit is the goodest good boy that you'll ever see. He doesn't pee on the floor. He doesn't shit on the stairs. He doesn't escape his cage and do this. He uses the doggy door. He doesn't eat off the table, even though his face is like right at that level where he could easily fucking do it. He doesn't do it. He cuddles with you. He falls asleep on top of you during the WrestleMania main event.
That's the best.
Because it's boring as fuck. And he's just like, I'm done. Fucking done. And he's the ugliest dog you'll ever see. But boy, the personality on this little guy, I'm a big fan. Our buddy Mason's got this dog named Bandit. And all the while, I'm looking at my friends. I'm like, what's the flaw with this dog? Like, he's a little hairy. He sheds a little bit. I'm like, is that it? Because we're good. And the whole time I'm thinking, man, Jim, if Jim was here, he'd be hot. Because he'd be like, why can't my dog be like this dog?
No, my dog is very sweet and cuddly and sleeps on you and all that. My dog, if you have line of sight and you can make eye contact with him, my dog's great. Soon as you take your eyes off of him, that's when he will literally eat 4 packages of instant mac and cheese. He ate yesterday, fucking Dale, this dog ate 6 whole raw eggs right out of the carton right after we got home from shopping.
What the? How does that work?
You're probably wondering how. I don't know. I don't know. Chris walked in, set down a bag of groceries onto the counter.
Gone.
Onto the counter that were in a bag. And then
He fucking grew some thumbs to open the container and shit.
Teddy and I walked down the stairs to put the groceries away. And then we do that for a while. We're putting groceries away. And then I noticed this weird yellow thing on the ground. And previously, he had eaten 4 bars of dark chocolate. So I thought maybe he's got weird runs or something. And then I followed it around. And then I got scared. I thought this dog's dead upstairs. If all this came out of this dog. And then Chris... Then it made sense that it was egg yolks. Like a trail of egg yolks from downstairs in the kitchen, around the little kitchen island, down the side of the stairs, up the stairs, into the living room upstairs. She finds the carton of eggs, all broken up, and she's like, he ate the whole carton of eggs.
That's not how she said it. I know she had some steak on it. He ate the whole fucking carton.
And then she was mad at me and Teddy, like, how did you let this happen? And I was like, what do you mean? You put the eggs on the counter? I didn't. I said, I don't know. We walked downstairs and we were putting groceries away and I find eggs everywhere. I have no idea how he did it as fast as he did it, as silently and quickly as he did it. It doesn't make sense, but he will do that. But like Bandit, he'll lay on your lap and let you pet him and fall asleep on you and snuggle you and cuddle you. He just also eats 6 raw eggs in a 4-second time frame.
It's like, I'm up here making a cake, man. Just let me,
I guess.
let me do this. Is that cool?
I mean, he ate dark chocolate and lived, and it was fine.
Oh, that's good. Yeah, Bandit, he does shakes. He does sit when you tell him to sit. And for whatever reason, that impressed the shit out of me. I was like, damn, he's smart. He's so smart. So yeah, that was a little friend that I made over WrestleMania weekend. I'm looking at the clock here. We got 10 minutes. I just want to tell this one story here because today was a good day. Today's essentially my Saturday because I'm off today and tomorrow.
Awesome.
And I try to get my shit in, all my errands, my shopping. And I also try to enjoy myself. So I was like, I'm going to go play some basketball.
Oh,
Let's do that.
Beautiful
And it
weather
was fucking great. And I'm out there draining 3 after 3 because nobody's defending me, and that's the only time I can hit threes. And I'm just having the time of my life. I was like, I'll probably only manage to do a half an hour because I'm going to get blown up real bad. I was out there for over an hour. You couldn't drag me off that court. But eventually, you had to go. Other shit to do. But on the way home, I'm like, well, maybe I'll change that. I said, you know what? I'm gonna go fishing because I just put a new line on my reel and stuff. I just got the fishing gear ready to go. I said, fuck it. I'm gonna go home real quick, grab the stuff, grab the GoPro, strap it to my chest like fucking Iron Man, and hit the lake. Let's do this real quick.
Like Iron Man.
So I do. I get the gear, drive over to the lake, and I'm out there. I get some bass. I honestly expected to get skunked. Early on into the season, sometimes it's pre-spawn. You just sometimes you just shit out of luck. But boom, had 1.5. Motherfucker jumped off the line to the second guy. That's fine. But this is when the story gets fucked up. I'm just I'm at the lake, fucking reeling, throwing, and I'm standing there doing my thing, and all of a sudden, Jim, we were talking about good boys, good dogs.
Oh God!
All of a sudden, Jim, I hear a bad boy.
Oh no!
I hear, row, 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 row. And I'm like, oh, that's close.
It's Dave.
And it's getting closer and closer. And I turn, and there's this big fucking dog, and this woman holding the leash, and I'm like, bitch, you can't hold that dog.
You know what I mean? I want at a woman.
And he's pulling her, and this dog is just beelining for her. Ruh, ruh, ruh. And I was like, well, shit.
Your dog bark.
So I did the only thing that made sense at the time.
You shot him.
I jumped in the water.
No, you didn't.
I did.
Oh God! Did the bass come back and bite you?
No, they did. The bass did not get their revenge. I take a couple fucking high steps into the water, and the dog's just like he's considering it.
like you had Inspector Gadget legs.
And I've got my rod. I'm like, I can maybe beat this dog with I might get 1 or 2 good shots, but then it's
Good shots.
he's
gonna
win.
Make him mad. That's a fishing rod.
Yeah, and this woman, while I'm like high stepping in the water while this dog's making its move, is like, oh, he's not gonna bite you. What?
I can just imagine her like, he's not gonna jump. He's not gonna jump in the water, right? So I don't gotta know. Oh my God, he's not gonna bite you.
Well, in a split second, I turn. Big dog barking, angry, coming at me. I also see the owner, this woman who's doing a shit job of. I was like, she cannot, this. No good options this way. No good options this way. Survivability this way in the
she
water.
may as well have a bear on a leash.
Yeah. Yeah, and it wasn't even like a collar leash around the neck. It was like a fucking strap, like a fucking, like he's Roman Reigns in the Shield. Like, I'm just gonna wear this fucking chest protector, and you might as well put a strap to it while we're at it, because he had, it was a fucking harness. The dog had a fucking harness. Jim.
That's what I have for Banner. He's a large man.
So I high step in the water. Surprisingly, not bad. My hiking boots are kind of fucked right now, but he's not gonna bite. He's not gonna bite. I'm like, yeah, all right, and I'm holding the fucking, I don't know what I was doing, but I'm holding the rod out horizontally, and shit. Doesn't make any sense. And I'm like, for whatever reason, and for whatever reason, her say he's not gonna bite. I was like, well, maybe I did overreact. I mean, I got startled. I was like, okay, so I started kind of trudging back to shore.
Please, this has to end with you getting bitten by this dog.
I started trudging back to life, okay, yeah, maybe he's just a goofy, aggressive boy. That's fine. And he makes another move at me. Closer than ever, and this was the one where I was like, "Oh my God, I might have to try to beat a dog with my fishing rod." And
Gotta bring your gun, son.
And she manages to pull him away because he wasn't going in that water. He's like, "Nah, fuck that. Only an idiot would jump in that water. What the fuck? I'm not doing that shit." And she manages to get him away, and she's like, "You fucking dumb dogs!" Gives him a whack and all this. And I'm sorry, sir. And I'm like, "Yeah." Like I'm fucking like shell shocked. Like what has happened in the last 30 seconds? Like 30 seconds ago, I'm on cloud 9 catching bass, and now I'm in the fucking water. I'm in the drink, just fucking like ruining my pants
I'm
and hiking
imagining
boots.
you have your carry permit and you've got your Glock and you jump in the water. And okay, kind of. Then you get out of the water, and the dog gets closer. And as you're shooting the dog in the head at point blank range, you're giving her the look that you gave that nun when you tore up the detention. Like I had to shoot him. He's close. He's gonna bite me. I'm sorry. I'm gonna bury him.
I'm gonna bury him. I'm gonna serve it. And here's the best part. I got all of it on the GoPro. The video is live on my YouTube channel.
Way. You mother.
Yeah.
Oh God, you played that perfectly.
So you could check this out on my my page there, youtube.com/Dale Zawada. Just look for first fishing of 2019, aka dog attack. You'll see it right there.
It's the first result, by the way. Please go to YouTube and type in Dale Zawada. It's the top video.
So yeah, it's at the end. I get a good amount of it, but he's a big dog.
I'm looking at the picture. Dale about to blow up on YouTube. That's why he's all happy. And he's like, yeah, talk about your guitar thing for 45 minutes. I'm about to get 3 million views tomorrow.
Yeah, so that was my day. I was trying to get all my good stuff in, basketball and fishing, and then the dog blew it up.
Can you imagine if you shot the lady? Like, lady, this
Lady.
lady, the dog, please, hello, blam. What was I supposed to do? And you got it all on YouTube? And you just give her, like, you take the GoPro off and give her the, what can you do? Like, shoulder shrug. Oh, my God.
People can't have dogs that they can't control on walks. Or just have a big yard then. That's your choice. If you can't control, scared the shit out of me. I'm just all of a sudden, boo, 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 and I was like,
I love
barking before.
I love your graphic. Was that a Fiverr?
Oh yeah, it's Fiverr all over that fucking joint.
It looks good. I like it.
Yeah, no, I like it as well.
I can't wait to watch this video. Oh my God.
So yeah, we've done our waiting, 12 years of it in Azkaban. So let's go ahead and plug it up. I've actually got one. Last year, I wrote a movie that came out with a small theatrical run. That movie is called Every 21 Seconds, which is now available on iTunes. It's the true story of a man trying to bounce back from a traumatic brain injury after a brutal bar attack. It's a great story about hope, the power of family, and never, ever giving up. Every 21 Seconds is on iTunes, so give that a watch. It was an adaptation from the man's book. I got to write a script off a book, which is the first time I did that. I did a great job. We all did a good job. And watch Every 21 Seconds on iTunes and let me know what you think.
You can see Dad Bod on May 25th, Saturday, 6 p.m. at Beer Geeks in Highland, Indiana. Also, if you're out Dale's way in the Illinois area, you want to come check us out on Saturday, June 8th, back at Hailstorm Brewery for a third time to tear the place down. Weather's going to be good. It's going to be, even if it's raining, it's indoors, right? So, like, it's not going to be cold. There's not going to be snow. It's summertime at this point. That show is going to be crazy. I'm going to drink a shit ton of beer, and that show is going to be fun. So, May 25th at Beer Geeks. That's a Saturday night in Highland, Indiana. And then Saturday, June 8th at Hailstorm Brewery in Tinley Park. And I'm telling you, there's another show I think we're waiting to confirm for Labor Day week or Memorial Day weekend. I think it may be the 24th, the Friday before the Beer Geeks show. So stay tuned for that. There should be something else we're trying to confirm.
Nice. Busy boys. I like it. This was episode 66. Thanks for listening. I got it all on my GoPro.
And I guess I'm Chong Lee.
Yeah.
No, he came in second place, so I guess not.